everybody. Tonight it's all about the American Athletic Conference, a league looking to bounce back after a down season, and a league full of teams seething to knock off everyone's favorite, the Memphis Tigers. The captain, Mike Holland, joins me right now to discuss whether or not anyone will be able to appease the anyone but Memphis crowd, or if Penny's guys will once again emerge victorious. Let's find out. Recording live from somewhere. This is One and Done.
Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
It's time once again for everybody to come aboard that One and Done train. Welcome to One and Done. Bienvenidos a todos a One and Done, your fast break of college basketball información. We're powered by the galaxy's greatest website. That would be drroto.com. I'm your sometimes humble host. My name is Jay Heinrich, and if you don't know, you're about to know. I'm the conductor of the aforementioned One and Done train at Dr. William Cannon on X. Follow me there. Follow us at the show page at One and Done CBB, scrolling across the bottom of your viewing device. Push all those buttons, like and subscribe, so you can hop in the liveliest live chat in all of college hoops. But also get over to X and follow this man. Around here, he's El Capitan himself, the captain of the One and Done ship. He does the ship, I did the train. At MC Allen 34, the OG Money Mike, Mr. Mike Holland. Mike, you know it's going to be one of those nights when we're on the air for 30 seconds and the live chat's already on fire. It's the American, and we're excited for it, man. What it do?
Yeah, man, it's already on fire, man. You got Cam jumping in early. What's up, Cam? Mason. There's John last night. He dove in on that show we did last night, and of course Darren is here. So yeah, let's go Mean Green. So yeah, man, I'm excited. This is show preview number 24 out of 31, and I believe today is we got 40 days left. If I'm not, it's either 40 or 41, man. I can't tell. But yeah, this is exciting times. We have so much content like ready to go. We're gonna drop a top 20 returning players. We're going to dive on here, probably do some best ball. We'll probably do some power ranking shows to kind of update everyone on, how we feel coming into the season. Just a lot of stuff going on, man. It's exciting times. Obviously, DFS is around too, so we'll probably get that here in the next 4 to 5 weeks or so. We'll get that first contest. It'll be awesome.
Save the best for 24th. Just like our guy Darren said, it's the American tonight. Why don't you hop in the live chat? Get with the liveliest of all live chats in college hoops. Darren, John, Mason, Cam, some OGs, some new Gs, mixing all in the live chat. Why don't you join them? Hit that subscribe button to do so. And turn on those notification bells so you don't miss anything that we're doing. Coming up, moving forward, all season long, DFS, news and note shows. Push the button and hang out with your broskies in basketball. Mike, the American last year ranked 11th out of 31 in KenPom strength of conference. Of course, I said everyone's favorite Memphis, sort of tongue-in-cheek there. Memphis is the one it's fun to hate. And when they're winning, it's even more fun to hate them. And they got the double last year, beating North Texas by 2 games for the regular season crown. And then also going off tonight, UAB in the final of the league tournament to earn the league's only bid to the NCAA tournament. Unfortunately, Memphis would fall victim to the old 5-12 seed upset. Colorado State proved to be too much in the opening
12
round.
seed Colorado State.
It seems to be, I don't know, man. We got some negativity in the chat.
We're starting it early, man. I love it.
Starting it on early. What are your thoughts on the American? Last year I mentioned it in the cold open. Trying to bounce back after a down season as a conference.
Chat is they're gonna be excited. We should just talk Memphis the entire show.
We should just talk Tigers the whole time. We're not going to, but we should. But what are your thoughts on the American, man?
Yes, 11th out of 31. That is the lowest finish for this conference in the KenPom era. A lot of that obviously having to do with Houston out the door. That generally helps when you have them in your conference. Cincinnati, even UCF, metric wise, like helping the conference, and the UTSA, Rice's, Charlotte's of the world just have not been able to get it going, man. And the thing is, there's still big time talent. Like, look at the talent last year. 2 of these guys that I'm about to name here are going to feature somewhere in probably our top 5, if not top 10 of our returning players. But they're going to be at different schools, man. So this conference gets absolutely vultured. PJ Haggerty off to K-State. You got Yaxel Lindyborg over to Michigan. Cam Williams going to Kentucky. Nick Graves going to Creighton. Brennan Lorient to West Virginia. The list goes on and on from this conference. And man, unfortunately, Jay, like this conference has had some tough stories come out. We had the unexpected death last year of South Florida head coach Amir Abdur-Rahim, which we actually interviewed him last offseason. So just a tough deal for that program. And then this past summer, man, we had Tulane forward Greg Glenn pass away as well, man. So just tough news for this conference, man. You hate to see this type of stuff, and you just hope that these two programs, kind of fight through and obviously, play for those guys and just hope they can come out with a successful type of season.
Yeah, it's tough. The energy around the conference sort of feels down right now for a lot of reasons, man. Whether that's teams leaving, whether that's, some of these untimely things happening, unfortunate things happening. But we're going to talk about Tulane later on. And like you said, the way that maybe they'll step up for Greg Glenn. We'll talk about that later on in the show, though. But yeah, the live chat, Mike. It's on fire.
Yeah.
I'm loving this.
Darren's already riled up in the chat.
I mean, I love it. Darren, we knew Darren was going to be in
Ross
there
Hodge.
from the jump. John.
We'll talk about North Texas in just a little bit.
We'll get there. Hope. I mean, later than, most of these teams, at least you hope so, that we'll be discussing them much later in the show. If you're familiar with what we're doing here, it is our world famous tiers, low, mid, and high. We start off every conference by talking about the low tier, and we're going to hop right into our tiers here, Mike. Boom, push that button right. See, oh my gosh, that's Nape pushing the buttons tonight behind the scenes, making the things happen. Look at that. Shout out to Nape, our guy, Nape C. Hustle over on X. Shout out to you, Nape, and shout out to the Rice Owls, who unfortunately are going to lead off the low tier here, Mike, the foundation of the conference. Or as Darren likes to say, the tier where everybody stinks. And I think Rob Lanier would tell you that last season stunk. It was one to forget for them, for the Owls down there in Houston. It's tough to picture it getting a ton better. Brand new roster. Trey Broadnax, right? 12 points, 4 dimes. That's the returning point guard. And other than that, it's a lot of guys trying to come in and figure things out, right? Jalen Smith, who's Lanier's former guard at SMU, sat out last year and redshirted, transferring to Rice this offseason. The problem with the squad, Mike, is outside shooting, all right? The lack of outside shooting is A1 for me, and maybe like A1.5, number 2, whatever you want to call it right there. They're going to have a tough time getting stops. Yep. So, unfortunately, we're going to have Rice down in the low tier again. Hopefully, they can maybe get to 6 wins. That'd be a nice step up for them, probably. I don't know. We'll see for the Rice Owls. But we see 2 more teams down there in the low tier. Mike, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so we got the old Charlotte 49ers, 3-15 last year. And you were just talking about defense. This was the worst defense in the league last year. And then you factor that in. They shot the 3-point ball 322nd in the country. Those 2 things aren't really going to lead to a lot of W's. So, yeah, you can kind of see why Aaron Fernie here is hitting the reset button, man. You got transfers from kind of all around the country trying to kind of piece this thing together, man. Zane Minko's coming in from Marshall. I actually like him. I think he's a nice player. 12.6 points, 5 assists. Damani Harrison comes in from Southern Indiana. 15 points per game, 41% from 3. You got some P5 transfers. Arden Conyers, he's a forward from South Carolina. Anton Bonks coming in from Providence. These guys are kind of like wild cards for me. So there's a little bit of upside here. I just kind of with you, man. Like a 1 or 2 game improvement seems like a really nice year. And then you got the East Carolina Pirates here. So the Kool-Aid, we are not drinking it this year, John. Look, at 10-8 last year, like they took a nice leap. It was Mike Schwartz's 3rd year. Unfortunately, I think we kind of see a step back here because Felton's out the door, Walker's out the door, Hayes is out the door. Jordan Riley's back. He's a nice player, former player at Temple. He's been a very productive player. but this is going to be a team, man, just going to struggle to shoot from the outside, and they're not going to get any stops in the paint. So like, it's just not really going to work out, I don't think, for East Carolina.
East Carolina joined by Charlotte and Rice down in the low tier for the American here. Let us know if you disagree. Should there be more teams down there? We're going to hit on them all. Let us know if you think
That
somebody
graphic's
else
a little
should be down
wide
there.
for only 3 teams in the low.
Yeah, it's going to look a little bit unstable, if you will.
That's
we
the
shall
conference.
see. Woodard and Riley going to be the best 2 players for ECU. Yeah, well, we'll see if they can keep them from dropping too low in the low tier. We're going to get to Temple in a second, John, right here in the mid tier. But before we do that, I'm going to remind everybody to hit those like and subscribe buttons. If you haven't already, turn on your notification bells. This is the 24th conference preview that we've done this year. And there's some big boys coming up, including Mike. Who are we closing out the week with?
I think we're hitting some WCC action, my man.
Nice. No, we love some WCC. So make sure that you're around for that. Push all those buttons if you haven't already. We've got some feelings here. We've got Temple and UTSA as being mentioned. It should be in this mid-tier, Mike. So let's jump to, I'm sorry, they're saying they should be in the low tier. And we're going to get to the mid-tier where we have them both. Let's flash those graphics up there right now. Before we get to Temple, though, I want to lead us off with the old shockers here of Wichita State. Made a nice jump in Coach Paul Mills' second season behind a veteran group. Unfortunately, every single major contributor to last year's team is gone. Mills has done a great job finding talent in the portal, which is why we think that floor keeps them here in the mid-tier. That includes UNC Greensboro guard Kenyon Giles, shot 40% from deep last season, 15 points overall. And then the ETSU wing, Karan Boyd, super talented guy. You know I love the backcourt play, but you know what I love even more is somebody that's 7'2", because you can't teach that. And Will Berg, those of you in the Big Ten, that name might ring a bell. Former Purdue big, an intriguing piece there. Averaged 84% on his field goal attempts. I'll bet this hat he won't shoot 84% again. But even if he's playing 15, 18 minutes a roll, it should be 15, 18, 20 minutes a night, whatever they can get out of him. If he can get high 50s, low 60s, they need him to contribute. They need him to figure it out. We should see John saying that this could be Mills' last season. Well, if he doesn't figure it out, we'll see. I mean, that's 2 seasons in already. Maybe if he doesn't get it done in the 3rd season, maybe they move on. Who knows? But we'll see. All right, let's get to Temple now, Mike. A team that the chat, or at least some in the chat, thought should be in the low tier. Similar to Wichita now, Coach Adam Fisher coming off a much improved second year at the helm, but in the same sense of everything in terms of losing all those major contributors, Temple lost the whole starting 5.
Yeah, we had a chance to talk to Adam Fisher last offseason, man. 9-9, that's pretty solid, pretty solid year there for him. But this is a whole new roster. Like you got some talent though. You identified some talent. Jordan Mason coming over from UIC, 10 points per game, 3.5 assists. He's going to run the show for him. I like Darian Ford a lot from Arkansas State. I don't think he's really gotten it going to where the ceiling could be. Messiah Gilliard over from Manhattan. These guys are obviously going to have a bigger stage to try to contribute here. But really, for me, like the upside's going to come down to the progression of Ford. And here's the name, Jay Babtunde Duradola.
Nice job.
Duradola there, man. So, this front court's going to be a key for these guys. Him and Jemai Felt from Bowling Green, they should help improve the defensive identity that was pretty limited last year for this squad. So I definitely don't mind Temple here. UTSA reset is definitely the safe word in this conference, as we mentioned earlier. A lot of teams transforming here. And Austin Clonch, another coach that we talked to, I don't know if that was last year or the year before, but we got to talk to him. He was pretty excited, man. So, they lost a lot of close games. 6-12 last year. I do like the addition of Ashawn Alette from TCU. He was a mid-major stud a couple of years ago. Averaged 12 points per game in the Big 12. Kind of the crown jewel of the transfer class. So with his experience, hopefully his improved efficiency coming, I wouldn't say, obviously it's more of a, higher mid-major, but still, right? It's not the Big 12. I think that's going to pay dividends for him. And then you got 2 other Big 12 transfers. You got Michaela Bridge coming in from Kansas State forward, and then ASU guard Austin Nunez is coming down. So these guys are looking for some opportunity to showcase their talent. They didn't really get much playing time at their former stops. So UTSA, should be more than competitive. And then here we go, Jay. Here's the big one, man. Like UAB, this might be a mistake because I know one thing, and that's doubting Andy Kennedy is probably a mistake. I don't know. This guy always finds talent, man. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, he does a good job finding talent. He does a good job finding a guy to be the superstar on his roster. There's a lot of talented players on this roster. Who's the Jelly Walker? Who's the Yaxel Lindeborg? Can you pick one out of these guys? I don't know that you can. And that's why I think that having them here in the mid tier makes a lot of sense. Like another reset roster here, but a good haul in the portal. Like, not, this isn't a shot at Ahmad Robinson, coming in from Mercer, but this also isn't the Southern Conference. This is the American Conference. Can Ahmad Robinson duplicate 17 points a night? They're going to need him to.
Yeah.
If they're going to be super competitive in this league. Jacob Meyer coming in from DePaul, where he averaged 9 points as well. Going to help out in the backcourt. And then Daniel Rivera averaged a dozen for UMass. And then Kyron Lindsey averaged 7 for Murray State. So, I mean, they might be able to
score.
They got
a nice spot here.
Chance Westry transferring in from Syracuse. That's one of those things where very talented at the high level conferences. Big Dipper coming down. Can he make a difference? Can the game translate? Can he just find himself? There's plenty of talent here, man. But I'm going to go back to what I said at the start. Who's the superstar? You still have to have a superstar to win in college basketball. And I don't see it on this team. All right, Mike. Let's move to Tulsa here, and we talked about the word of the day, the reset button, right? And it applies to Tulsa too. 75% of the roster is new for Coach Kunkel, and if they don't put something together this season, we were talking about the possibility of some warm seats,
some warm
earlier on, perhaps. However, in this instance, I really do feel like it could get hot real quick if it doesn't work out.
And here's the thing about Tulsa here, man. Like, I do like the floor of the backcourt. Another Arkansas State transfer coming, Terrence Ford. He's a really nice player, nearly double figures, 5 assists a game. And Miles Rigsby, he can score too. So I don't mind them offensively. And then somebody that Johnny K pointed out the other day when we were doing our A10 preview, or maybe I was David Fuchs, but David Green's coming in from Rhode Island. He averaged 14.6 boards from them. So obviously a solid player over in the A10 conference. But yeah, man, like they got to get a few more guys going here to feel comfortable, maybe, pushing them up to the high tier. I just think that floor is a little too high to be in the low tier, man. You got the Shuko card, Ade Papula. He can also fill it up. So defensively is where, if they do end up in this low tier, and one of these teams from the mid is probably going to fall into the low tier. Tulsa, they have a wide range of, I think, just outcomes this year. And then you have FAU here. John Jacobs, he did a solid job. First year post Dusty May, right? That's a tough deal. Won 10 games in conference, and him and Nico Moretti, who's coming back, they're going to be looking at a lot of new faces in the locker room. I mean, you got Indiana transfer guard Cannon Carlisle. I think he could be a stud in this league. Just didn't fit with that mess of an Indiana roster last year and fit. We saw what he could do at Stanford a couple of years ago. You got USC transfer wing Isaiah Elohim. We never really got a chance to see what he could do. I just trust that Jacobs can get the most out of these guys. But the X factor for them, international forward Xander Pendelon from Belgium. He's an older player. You watch this film a couple of weeks ago, man. He's got a nice little inside-out game. So this is one of those teams, man. Another wide variety of outcomes on the table, I think, for FAU. I like their floor probably a little bit more than some of these other teams. But man, we have this mid-tier jam-packed, obviously for a reason, right? Like, it feels like the floors are a little bit safer than the floors that we see in the low tier, and I think that's why we're a little unbalanced in this league. And this is another league. We were just talking about the MVC. Like, when you start to get into these high mid majors, right, you're gonna get some tier jumpers both ways, man. So yeah, dude. So this is can't wait to talk about the high tier, because it feels like we're going to be talking about some major upside when we get to the 4 teams up in the high tier.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Before we get there, though, to recap the mid-tier, Florida Atlantic, Tulsa, UAB, UTSA, Temple, and Wichita State. John,
Do we have a question? Do we have a question in the chat or something a second ago?
John's saying that it was so hard to predict with all the turnover in this conference. It is hard to predict. And then Mason was chiming in a little bit ago, asking about Josiah Parker.
Yeah. I mean, he's a highly rated recruit coming in. So I mean, he's like 6'6", 6'7".
So Mike, let me ask you this: when you have these recruits that are coming in, and there's less on them metric wise, like measuring their contributions to a team at this level, it can be tough sometimes, right? Like what to expect especially once we start to get into these tougher conferences, and I do think that the American will bounce back after a down year last year.
Yeah.
How important is it for teams to have that one young guy that could just finds a way and pushes his way and forces his way onto the floor and just the unexpected contributions, because like obviously like somebody like that, like Parker, like not somebody that
top 100 type recruit. So
but again, not somebody that when we're looking at this stuff ahead of time, that's just like we have to talk about
right.
Parker, you know what I mean?
Right.
But
100%.
But it's a good question to ask here, for the sake of the conversation. Like, who's going to be that guy for a lot of these teams? The unexpected name to sort of step up. Maybe, who knows? It'll be Parker for the Owls. All right, Darren said enough with the appetizers. Time for the entree. Bring on the chips and salsa are done. The mozzarella sticks are shoved aside.
Darren's happy. He knows where it is.
For the high tier. And Darren, my man, I get to talk about
John too.
Green and John too. Yes, of course. Well, let's talk about the old mean green and how the Ross Hodge era only lasted a couple of years, as now just churning out those P5 coaches. Hodge off to West Virginia. And now Mean Green announced that Cleveland State head coach Daniel Robinson is the head man. He immediately got busy, as Darren and John know. I know they're familiar with this, running the transfer portal hall as talented as any in the league, including 2 of his former players here, Dylan Arnett and Deshaun Stevenson. Then at San Jose State transfer guard and former UCLA sharpshooter Will McClendon, somebody that we've talked about quite a bit in our DFS shows throughout the years. That's going to open up a ton of space for the offense. But, Mike, let's talk about Demarion Watson. Let's talk about the upside of Watson.
Yeah, definitely big-time breakout candidate.
Coming down from Iowa State, this is the Big Dipper. This is the type of Big Dipper that can win you a conference.
Oh, yeah,
if
100%.
Everything hits with Watson, if he hits that ceiling, and I'm not just trying to gas up Darren and John here. Okay, I'm not. But if Watson is the type of player that Coach Robinson hopes he is, this could be a really, really solid ending to the season here for the Mean Green. We shall see. Crazy athletic. Yeah, John gets it. Hey, Mike, I got to talk about the chat's favorite of the conference, of course. The North Texas Mean Green, of course. So now I'm going to toss over everybody's least favorite. It's Memphis, of course. You can basically pencil in our guy Penny in his program for double-digit wins every year. You just look back at what he's done every single year in his 7 seasons at the helm here. By hook or by crook, whatever it is, getting it done out there on campus. What are your thoughts on Memphis? Let's navigate through this high tier a little bit. Give me your thoughts on Memphis.
Yeah, can I take one jab to our North Texas guys in the chat?
Please do, yeah. Please do.
If they don't win it's one because there's 3 other teams in this conference that are pretty talented, but also because the outside shooting, man, like just as a whole, I don't know, man. Like I'm a little worried about the outside shooting on this North Texas roster. But anyway,
so hold on. Let's go back. Do they need? We talk about like ceiling type. Like, do they need McClendon to be shooting
Yeah,
like 38 or 40% from deep? Like, is this the
yeah.
type of jump that's going to be necessary for them to do that?
So
Because if not, go ahead.
they're gonna play. I think they're gonna play solid defense. I don't know that Arnett's gonna be like the stopper or anything, but like Terrell 33%, Dwayne Watson obviously no volume. Sorry, 27%. Arnett doesn't shoot threes. We just don't have a lot of guys that you're like, oh man, like this outside shooting, like that this outside shooting is gonna be good. So yeah, I think McClendon's gonna be huge for them. That's just a little, that's
Yeah.
something I'm going to be watching for early in the season. First 5-10 games, like, well, what's UNC shooting from three? Give us a better idea if we're going to be a serious challenger to Memphis and these other two teams in here, man. So with Penny and these guys, like, look, like it's pretty wild. There's not one guy back from last year's team. Everyone either transferred out, they're out of eligibility. Sorry, Dane Danger. But hey, here's a rebound. How about this? Dougie McBuckets from Kansas State running the show. That's not bad. Obviously Memphis has been on this run of of point guards, right? He's going to bounce back. He's going to have a much better season. Probably look a little bit better than he did last year for sure. But the ball's going to be in his hands a lot. And then I like Sincere Parker. Like I know the guy takes a lot of he loves to shoot the ball. I think he had the highest usage rate in the country last year, or the highest shot rate in the country last year. But he's a guy that's, he kind of fits the role of, like a Colby Ross, like just someone that is going to go out and just get you buckets, man. So I feel like he plays
Never
really
met
nice.
a shot he didn't like.
Yeah, like I feel like he fits in this Penny
Just put the
offense. He
bucket
always
up,
has
yeah.
a guy like that on his roster who just like chucks. I think he fits well next to Doug McDaniel. And you got all these dudes. I think they're going to take a step forward. I like Quante Berry coming over from Temple. Aaron Bradshaw. If he can just stay healthy, I believe he's gonna be a junior this year, coming in from Ohio State. I think he was like the number 3 ranked player a couple of years ago in high school. So Curtis Givens is in. Like he's a breakout candidate as well. Like I don't think they're gonna dominate anybody because you don't have PJ Haggerty, you don't have Dane Danger, but they're gonna be more than solid. Jay. So I don't know, man. Like we want to knock on Memphis, but until we see something different, like they're just going to be in this high tier. Like they're going to win 10 plus games for sure. And then you got South Florida here, man. We just got to give that shout out again for obviously getting through the season last year. We just talked about the news about Amir Abdur-Rahim passing a few weeks before the season started. So just a tough spot that these guys battled through, and looking for obviously some brighter days ahead, my man.
Well, and then Ben Fletcher, talk about stepping up at a time where you don't really want to. That's not how you want to get that job, and then to lead them through that, did a really, amazing stand-up job. Good job, Ben Fletcher. And now the program moves forward, right? Former Arkansas State head man Brian Hodgson coming in, bringing with him Joseph Pinion and Isaiah Nelson, who right there, Mason ball knower, so he's going to be a star.
That guy. He's a stud
for the Bulls. Of course, we got the most ball-knowing chat in the history of college basketball.
Yeah,
that's who hangs out with us here on One and Done. Nelson's going to be it's a double-double a night. Going to block a couple of shots. Going to make it uncomfortable for you to do what you want to do. And then I'm about to say one of the bonus words here. I'm going to say Kentucky, because former 5-star Kentucky / LSU transfer forward Damian Collins.
Oh my goodness, that's a name we've talked about a lot.
That is a name we've talked about a lot, and he's down there on campus now in South Florida. And then Robert Morris transfer wing Josh Omojafo. There's some shooting right there, especially from deep there. This is a talented team, 6-12, right in the conference last year, but this team's going to be better than that. Ben Fletcher led the way to get here, and now Brian Hodgson taking the reins over, bringing what he brings. I love it. I love what they're going to do. They're going to be competitive. And, Mike, before we get to Tulane here, I want to say I think we're going to see a shrinking down of the gap in this conference considerably this year. That doesn't mean that this is going to be a worse conference overall, but I think that this is going to be such a tight conference on a night in and night out basis. They're going to beat each other up, especially in this high tier, and then in the higher end of the mid tier, I guess, if you will. This is going to be a really good conference, and I think I think that's how South Florida, can be in that high tier, because 12 wins gets you in the high tier
Yeah.
probably with what's going to win the conference this year. Memphis is not going to win 16 games.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think anybody's going to win
Yeah,
16 games this year. So it kind of feels
14,
like
13, 14
13
might
or
get it done.
14 gets you there, right? At least a share. So can you get there? Can South Florida get there? Absolutely. And so can Tulane. 12 wins in the conference last year. Obviously, we talked about Greg Glenn earlier in the show. He passed away in late July. It feels like, man, like it's one of those like rallying cries for a team that is already riding a 12-win conference season, riding the momentum of that coming in. And I mean, it's tough to deal with, man, but there's talent on this team. And now they've got that extra motivation that you can just ride through a season.
Yeah, and I mean, we hate that we're having to talk about these types of tragedies, right? But I think you're right, man. The program's going to honor them by how hard they play. Like no one is going to doubt Coach Ron Harper's ability to get talent, right? And that's what he has on this roster, man. He's consistently challenging at the top of this conference, man. We know this guy, Rowan Brumbaugh. He was, came down here to Texas for a couple of years, but he was really good in this conference last year. 15.5 points, nearly 5 assists, and Asher Woods is back as well in the backcourt, man. He's a guy that can get buckets, and I like these P5 transfer forwards that are coming in, man. Curtis Williams from Georgetown. You got Scotty Middleton from Seton Hall. Yeah, like the talent is absolutely there, and the motivation is there, man. I just think that they're going to play really, really hard, and this conference is wide open at the top. Like that year, that is the top theme. Is that we don't think Memphis is not going to run away with the conference, and really the top and the mid are kind of sandwiched together. We think we're going to get some maybe some easy dubs down there in the low tier. Cam Sandy, I think Tulane's going to be a fun team to watch, and this conference in general is going to be a lot of fun. And John saying swap UAB with Tulane. Yeah, there's going to be some tier swaps, man. But we know that for sure this will probably be, not probably, it's 100% the way that this is going to turn out, right, Jay?
Yeah, we put it in stone, right? This is how the conference is going to be, in this order. This is how we're feeling right now. Yeah, this is one of those things where Tulane will ride that wave of momentum, pun intended, and 12 wins again immediately push you in the conversation at the end of the year, going into the last week. Like if you're around that number, you're in the conversation, and Tulane can get there along with South Florida, Memphis, and those mean green of North Texas, closing out our high tier in the old mid tier. It's Florida Atlantic, Tulsa, UAB, UTSA, Temple, and Wichita State. Plenty of room to move around there, guys. So if you're fans of those programs, there's plenty of way to move around there in this conference. But we feel like you're going to end up in the middle of this one here. And again, 8 wins in this conference. That's right smack in the middle of it all, right? And that's doable for all those teams that we just discussed. And then down in the low tier, East Carolina, Charlotte, and Rice. Man, I hope Coach Lanier figures it out up there, man. It's just
a tough place to get to town. I mean,
it's tough to get people on campus there.
Man, yeah.
It's a tough situation for them. So we'll see if he can make chicken salad out of owl shit, whatever you want to call it. I guess is there in Rice. So good stuff,
Nice.
man. Hey,
there it is, man.
What a solid show. The live chat,
Whew.
absolutely fantastic tonight. We appreciate everybody that hopped in there. John, Mason, Darren, Cam doing their thing. Some of the most ball knowers in all of college basketball. Did I leave anybody out tonight, Mike? I'm sure. I hope I didn't there. It was just
no, I think it's all the usuals, man. And John jumping in. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a great question, man. We talk about this all the time with the high mids, MVC, American, right? It's just tough because the power conferences are so big that you're going to get 10 plus teams in. And that's what's really taking away. So it's just, I don't think it's going to happen, man. We're not going to see that many. And then you have a potential, bid stealers and things like that. Like we could have gotten 2 in last year. Memphis doesn't win the double from this conference, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean that something like that, or just it's just tough for these even these high mid majors was kind of annoying. But I don't want to expand the tournament, so just
No,
what
I
it
don't
is.
either.
Yeah.
If the conference is a little bit more condensed there, if there's no clear runaway like Memphis winning
Yeah.
16 games,
It's one bid, yeah.
It's one bid, right? But
Yeah.
if nobody stands out like that, like I think North Texas could be the team. I'm going to take North Texas to win the conference here. Nate said it in the chat. I'm going to take North Texas. I'm going to say that they're going to figure out a way to shoot the ball a little bit. They're tough on both ends, and that's what you got to be in a conference like this on a night in and night out basis. So I'll go ahead and take the mean green here. Mike, who are you going to take before we log off?
It's tough picking against Memphis, man, but I'm going to take South Florida, man. I love Pignon and Nelson. You got Damian Collins. This is a really good looking squad, man. So I think South Florida could do it this year.
Mason hopping on board there with the Bulls,
nice.
And you love to see that again. This is who hangs out with us here, the ball knowers. You should hop in with the ball knowers if you haven't already. Get in the live chat. They're nice for the most part. Even Darren. We love our guys for sure. Thanks for everybody for hanging out with us tonight. Make sure you follow our guy at Fantasy Nav. Forgot to bring up our guy Eric the Blue. Got you the graphics. Follow our guy at Nate C. Hustle, who's pushing the buttons for you tonight. Our guy, the Hall of Famer himself, CC Hustle, at Nate C. Hustle over there on X. Shout out to you, Nate. Shout out to my guy.
I would not survive in Miami. We've already experimented with that.
I've been there with you, and I will attest to that. My man, El Capitan around these parts, the captain of the green screens, of the one and done ship. Guy used to talk about green screens for such a long time when we were doing all of our DFS shows, and that's why you need to push that button. Darren will not play Jaden Epps in DFS. He's still committed to it. I will day one. He's going to go like 5.5x. But push that button so you can be around for our DFS shows once the season rolls around. We got 7 more of these conference previews to do. Go back and watch all the old ones if you haven't already. Shout out to John for calling his shot yesterday that he was going to show up today, and he did it, and he filled up the chat. Shout out to you, John. Shout out to Mason. Shout out to Darren. Shout out to our guy, Cam. Shout out to everybody that joined us tonight. We're going to hit the WCC Wednesday or Thursday. We're going to figure it out. Have the buttons on, have everything going so you know when we go live. We're going to do it later this week. Over the next couple of days, we'll bring you some WCC chat. We hope to see you in the live chat. We hope to see you on the old YouTube verse, as they say, however you're watching us. We appreciate you. Until next time, ladies and gents, tell somebody that you love them and take care of yourself. My name is JAYHEINRICH. Come again. Peace.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.